Hi everybody, hope you're fine. What a great pleasure to be here in this beautiful guitar shop, Woodstock Guitar. We are waiting for more and more concerts in this beautiful guitar temple. After 55 days of well-respected lockdown, here we are free again and searching for a new world. As there will never be a vaccine against human stupidity, protect yourself. Thanks God that virus can't penetrate through our ears. Music is saved. Last week, I told you about my meeting with Phil Collins during the Summer Open Air Festival in Saarbrücken in '78. During this interview, he mentioned the discomfort their guitarist Steve Hackett created in Genesis by his unexpected departure. Genesis is a pillar in the kingdom of progressive rock, and for that, I choose to speak today about my meeting with this famous guitar player who decided to run back and revisit the beginnings of the Genesis musical world. I'm not a cruise person, but when I took two Zurich-Miami flights, I was far from imagining that I was going to achieve one of my wildest dreams. Can you imagine boarding a liner with 3,500 prog rock fans and spending 5 days at the Caribbean Sea, including a stopover at Cozumel in Mexico, while watching the biggest names in prog rock such as Yes, Marillion, Steve Hackett, Saga, a hit list of all my favorite bands in this music area. The cruise took place in Miami 6 years ago, from April 7 to April 12. The ship was the MSC Divina, an incredible state-of-the-art superliner which has the world's largest and finest performance theater. Inside, everything was magnificent. All accommodations were great with cool blue hues reminiscent of the calming ocean. Various pools, restaurants, bars, and concert stage were other centers of attraction. But no ballroom dancing, no bingo, only music. Upon entering the ship, the signs announcing the caller. This is a full ship charter with music fans only. This is not your grandmother's cruise. Was kind of reassured. Everything was included. Stateroom, meals, concerts, events, selected band meets and greets. Most future bands will be performing at least twice during the cruise. A kind of music never sleeps. It was really not worth renting a large balcony suite because we left the room around 8 p.m. to come back around 2 a.m. We were able to attend multiple concerts scattered in various places of the ship. Guests congregated to bask in the sun while watching incredible music moments. I was fascinated by the peaceful time that reigned on board. Despite the huge choice of dozen concerts by day, people were incredibly calm. The artists even came to share meals with fans without crowds in the various restaurants. Meet and greet was one of the most appreciated privileges for those who had chosen and paid for this option. I was thus able to meet and chat with many artists from the prog rock world. Chatting a bit with Steve Hackett, the lead guitar player of British prog legends Genesis, was an unforgettable moment. He inspired many people as Brian May, a fan of Stevie's multi-part guitar harmonies. He helped shape the band's sound by strongly encouraging them to incorporate a mellotron into the songs, giving a magic touch to Genesis. When I introduced myself and he heard my name, he greeted me in Portuguese, and that surprised me. I would later learn that Steve Hackett had been married during 26 years to a Brazilian painter. By showing him my photo albums, I told him about the memorable Genesis concert in Colmar and about the importance the group had at that time in France. He said, I felt like I was playing in the guitar in the best band in the world. So why did you leave them? I asked. We were very strong individuals and the desires to stand on our own feet were justified. Don't you agree with me, José? Of course. Steve is one of those British gentlemen in the music world, very cultivated and of limitless politeness. He was surprised to see all these great artists in my photo albums and told me that there would surely be material to write a great memory book. Jesus, my eternal taboo subject. Steve Hackett played 2 concerts during these 5 sunny cruise days. From his first solo work, Voyage, to the Call It, till these days of the Genesis Revisit Tour, the evolution of his experimental game develops a much more poetic sound, favoring much more harmonies than technical demonstration. We clearly note his influences from the King Crimson and Yes. Period. All the musicians were terrific, but kudos to Nat Silva. He really shone on renditions of the Peter Gabriel's vocal work. High moments of these shows, Firth of Fifth with John Winton from Asia Band on vocals, and the Bob Dylan's cover All Along the Watchtower with his friend and Yes bass player Chris Squire. But the fans really took a great prog fly with the first chords of the musical box and Supper's Ready. I will come back in the next episode of this Every Picture Tells a Story on another very important meeting with other great guitar players on this same cruise, which marked my mind. Well, I lived these 5 days like a dream, sailing under the sun and having a good time on the Caribbean Sea, listening to the Cream of progressive rock. A wonderful adventure that I recommend to any rock lover. And the man who told me, looking at my photo albums, that there was enough material to write a book, ended up being trapped as he will release A Genesis in My Bed in July 24, an autobiographical book. You can order it at his official website. So thank you very much to the Woodstock Guitar team and hope to see you very soon. Bye.